Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ, and I'm doing my first Trashcraft Tuesday since surgery. So I'm so pleased to be able to do this for you guys. I'm pleased to be kind of getting back into a little bit of a rhythm. Still hampered though. Of course, I've got my cast on. I'm recording this on Monday because tomorrow being Tuesday, I need to go and get my cast changed because it's come a bit loose. So that's what I'm up to tomorrow. So let's get into Trashcraft Tuesday. I've got a cat on my desk at the moment, so I'm just hoping she doesn't create me too many difficulties. Hey Snuggles, you going to say hello? No, she just wants pets. She's right at the top of my little crafting mat here. So she's going to keep me company and provide me with ample cat fur to continually try and get off of my project. No, that's my coffee. No, it's Mummy's coffee. Okay, so what I've got here is a calendar page. Now for this project, you can use anything that has this perforation, you know, where you get the wire bound or spiral bound. It could be a notebook or anything that's bound in this manner, and you tear off the sheet and you get these little jaggedy bits where you tear it off. So I don't want to leave it like this, so I've torn off all the little like top bits there. So if I do a few, you might be able to sort of get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm just tearing off the little top bit at the top to leave this little leggy, gosh, I feel like I can't talk properly, leggy bit at the top, which I think is quite fun. Now, the only downside with using this paper is that I want to actually turn it sideways, so my numbers and everything are going to be sideways. That's okay, we're going to probably cover it anyway. So I'm going to trim it down. We're making a tag this morning. And this is something I did the way I made my tag for the virtual tag swap in my Facebook group Visual Vibes. And as I was doing it, I was like, this is actually quite a cool Trashcraft Tuesday project. So I decided I would revisit it. I was going to show you the one I made, but I don't know where I've put it. Things are all over the show here as I work between the couch, or mainly on the couch, and my desk. So I'm just arbitrarily choosing how tall I want my tag to be. So you can make it whatever size you like. Now I could have this the right way up and just have this at the top, but that's kind of not the look I'm going for. I want to do it sideways, but maybe I'll do a variation at some point. And I'm going to make this a folding tag. So I'm going to make it, I could trim this down a bit further, but I'm just going to have it this wide. I'm going to make do. So I'm not folding this to meet the edge because I want to put some decorative paper in underneath, just to make it look pretty. So this is our tag base essentially, and it's going to open up and have writing space on the inside. So if you don't like white, you can stencil it, cover it in writing paper, colour it up, coffee dye it, do whatever. I'm not going to worry too much about it. That's not tall enough. Let's see what else we've got. Just digging in my scrap bag because this is Trashcraft Tuesday. That's not big enough. So I'm looking to use up, you know, scrappy bits. If I can find something that's the right size, that is. And that inspires me at the same time. So sorry, I'm probably off camera, but I'll be back with you in a second, hopefully. Oh, here we go. What about one of these? Let's grab out the bundle. Put that away because we're not using that. Oh, it doesn't want to go back in the bag. Okay, I'll fight with that later. Right, so here's some painty papers that I've done. This one's already been cut into, so how would we That could be a bit of fun, couldn't it? Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to tear the edge and make it fun, you know, because we're going for texture and interest. So I'm gonna save this little strip that I'm tearing off and put it in my my phone book where I put all of my scrappy bits. So we'll keep that little bit because it's got some good colour. And we want it to go past the bottom of those little tear off bits. Are you learning, Snuggles? Are you taking notes? I hope so. Right, and that I want to sit in behind there. Like so. I need to bring it out a little bit and trim this down a little bit more. Something along those lines. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hold it there. And I'll trim off that bottom bit. I'm just going to put a line of glue along that edge. And then a line of glue along the bottom of those leggy bits. It seems to be so hard to say, leggy. I don't know why. It's weird. Right, so pop that down. And then I like to just go in and put a little dot of glue under these little bits. Doesn't take much, just a dot, so that they don't sort of rip off or get caught on things. Just makes me happy to secure them, but you can not glue them down, or you could use a glue stick if it's easier, or if that's what you have, just do whatever. I just like using my tacky glue, find it less messy. So just working and putting a little dot under each, and then pressing it down so the glue spreads out. So this is very thin paper. The last one I made, or the other one I made of this, I used like a visual diary paper. It was a bit that had got some grime and stuff on it, and so I tore it out because I didn't want, you know, didn't want to do art on it in my art diary. So I tore it out, and then it was like, oh, it could be fun, and it was, and I really liked how it turned out. So I'm sorry I don't have it to hand to show you. There is a photo of it in Visual Vibes though, if you were super curious to go see. Right, there we go. So that all glued down to my satisfaction. And I just want to take a little bit more off this edge. Sticking out a little bit much. Almost, just another little bit here. So I hope you're all having a fabulous week so far, that you're getting up to lots of creative fun. Right, and just going to tear off this bit at the bottom. I can line up my ruler properly. There we go. And that's another scrap for my collage phone book. Right, so we've got just this little pop of colour. So now, because this is kind of sideways and not particularly interesting in that form, I want to decorate that up. So let's dig in my bag of scraps for something. Actually wondering about envelope. Oops, I'll take off the bit with the address on. here. So I want to put some of this, and I don't want to cover I don't have to cover the entire thing. I just want to, you know, make it interesting effectively. So actually I might tear off that top bit so we've got a nice torn edge there, like so. I could do down this side, but I'm not going to worry. And then, do I want it straight? Yeah, let's just do straight. Thinking about giving it some more shape, but oh, wait, oh, there's sellotape on there. Okay, well, let's just cut that little bit because that sellotape's not tearing. So let's grab across my glue book and my glue stick and glue this on. And I'm just going to layer up a few bits and pieces to make it interesting and fun and pretty, hopefully. Always like a bit of pretty. So we're using a few bits of trash here. An old envelope, the inside of an old envelope, an old calendar page, a scrap of painty paper. It's actually inky paper. I did this with ink pads, just taking the ink pad and popping it directly on the paper. So we're going to add a bit more of this. So I'm just going to tear a strip. No, I don't think I want that straight down there, so let's give it more shape, creating lots of little scrappy bits here. Are you leaving, Snuggles? Thanks for visiting with us. You right? She's trying to work out how to get down. Now she's now in my wheelchair, which is a place she loves to be. If I'm not in it, she likes to be in it. So she's happy. So I'm just going to lay this down, and I'm just making this up as I go along. I have no real plan of what I want it to look like. Just the idea. Hey, you're making everything rattle, girl. Don't know if you could hear that. She was scratching herself and making the wheelchair rattle. Right. Okay, do I want anything else? Do we want... use your words. You speak to the people. Can you tell, like, I've kind of fallen out of my routine in terms of what to say on video, and you know, so I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things. Well, I can't find my bag of texty papers, so how about we use a bit of pattern paper instead? So I found this first. I don't know, maybe it won't look any good. We'll try it. So I want an interesting bit. Interesting-ish. I don't know, this might not look any good. Maybe just a little snippet. Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. Let's just go with it. Because why not? And it just adds a little something to this grey area. It's just a little detail. Now on the other one, I chose a long image that wrapped around onto the back. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that this time, but I probably would like to do something with this side. Now I could make it writing space, or I could make it decorative, or I could do a bit of both, and I'm wondering about doing a bit of both. So I've got some brown packing paper here. So let's tear off a bit of that. Hopefully I tore it straightish. Not so much. Okay, I'm going to have to take that down a little bit more. Perhaps if I line it up here. Oh yes, it wasn't straight at all. Let's go on that line. Yep. Oops. Well, that went all sorts of wonky. Never mind. Okay. So yeah, I'm feeling like I've never crafted a day in my life. It's a really weird feeling. I feel kind of, yeah, weird. Just weird. Like I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know how to do things. And I guess part of that is because, one, I'm having to sit here with my foot up, which is not convenient. It's not comfortable. I can't move. I can't swing around to grab things from, you know, that I might need from my shelves behind me. It just feels kind of weird and odd, and yeah, weird and odd. I guess is that the same thing? Weird and odd? Kind of, but not. Yeah, I just feel in a weird space at the moment, so let's just have some fun anyway. And I'm also hungry because it is now lunchtime, but I was late starting this, and so I thought, no, I just want to go ahead and do it anyway. Lunch can wait, but I am hungry. Right, put a little bit of this just to carry it over onto the back and add a little fun. Just that bit's sticking out a little bit, just need to snip it off. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Oops, my glue page is getting a bit sticky. Oh, come on, slide into the right place. And then I've got it over too far. That's all right, I'll just trim it off. No biggie. So I need just a little bit. Okay, and do we want another little snippet of this painty paper? Yeah, why not? Keep saying painty paper even though it's inky paper. You know what I mean. Coloured paper, hand coloured paper. Right, now I need some focal images, particularly on the front, but we could put a little something down here on the back as well if we chose. What can I reach? That is the next question. That is the question. Maybe I need to bring my foot down so I can swing around. So if there's a big clonk or scrape, that's the cast. So maybe a label. And maybe a butterfly. And maybe a flower. Okay, so I've got a few options. I'm going to take a moment to pop my foot back up. There's a crisscross, metal crisscross at the front of my desk that I've kind of just got my foot resting on. It just kind of reaches, because I was just not happy with putting my foot in the wheelchair this morning. I needed to be straight onto my desk. And I grabbed the birds. Oh well, let's go with birds. I meant to grab the flowers, but I grabbed the birds. So let's... Oh, that's quite a nice colour, isn't it? I might leave that to dry because I could use that. That's quite a nice picture, so might be able to use that somewhere. So let's go to this one. Okay, so bird it is. And I think bird on the front. How big a bird do we want? No, they kind of get lost. Want something that stands out. That's not too bad. Too big. Brown bird. Not too bad, but I think I like these ones better. Oh, we've got a flamingo. Well, that's kind of fun. I'm not a huge fan of flamingos, but although, yeah, I find it gets a little bit lost in there. It's a bit small, little penguin. What about an owl? Oh, I like the owl. Owl it is. Right. Okay. So let's give him a little ink around the edge just to make sure he stands out nicely. Right, there we go, Mr. Owl. You are a very fine fellow, aren't you? Okay, I think I'll be okay with glue stick for this. So let's try not to gouge out the glue. Perfect. Lovely. Do like you, Mr. Owl. Excellent. That's making me happy. Okay. Do we want a wee label? Now I do have some new labels. Very exciting. I haven't used them yet, but I have cut them all out. It was one of my couch crafting activities. It took a whole day and cut in the vicinity of like 300 labels out, like a lot. And these are them, and they are from the Junk Journal Studio. So it starts here, goes down there, down there, down there, down there, down there, and then I've got a tray of little tiny ones which I haven't got with me at my desk. But one of these smallish ones in here, if I grab my tweezers, or a pair of tweezers, these ones might be okay. So I can grab out some to look at. I don't like this pair of tweezers. It works in opposite to what you normally would. You've got to squeeze them to open them instead of squeeze them shut, and I do it wrong all the time. But that's what I happen to grab. I want something, oh, that one. I think it just doesn't dominate, whereas I found that this one was too bright and kind of drew my eye here instead of the owl. So this one kind of, it blends with the owl, but in a good way. Or there's this. No, I think I like this one. Okay, well that was easy. Now I can put these back in the little slot. There we go. So give this a bit of ink as well. Yeah, so this is a really generous sized kit of labels from the Junk Journal Studio. just love them. Some great options. Well, they're all great options and lots of different sizes. So there's 119 different designs of the labels, and then they come in 3 sizes, and then there's a few extra sizes just dotted in of a couple just where Michelle wanted to fill a gap, so she'd, you know, perhaps do one even a bit smaller and fill a gap with it. So lots and lots of labels, all sort of vintage, cool, texty numbers, you know, really cool fonts and handwriting, all that sort of stuff. Right, so I love that. I think that's looking really good. I'm going to give it a bit of ink to finish it off on the front. And along this edge here of our paper strip. Now I could have inked these as well, but I decided not to. I didn't on my other one either. I don't think it's particularly necessary. And depends what colour it is and what colour you put under it, how much it shows up. This doesn't show up super well. Probably even less so on camera, but you can still see it. And I haven't got the best lighting here. My lamps and everything keep moving, so they're kind of just wherever they happen to be. Right, so down here I'm thinking just a wee butterfly. These butterflies are from, I think, from Artcraft Smart, I think. Don't quote me on that though. Do we want that, or do we want a blue one? And somewhere I've printed out these butterflies at half size, and I don't know what I've done with the sheet. They still need cutting out. So one of these days I might have to find where I've put them so I can cut them out and use them, because I think a smaller butterfly would be good on this. Do we like the green better because it stands out a little bit more? Or we could, because we've got sort of orangey brown, we could go like that. Yeah, I think I like that one. Okay. Got a bit of a white edge, so I'm gonna just knock that back with the ink. And I've just printed these out on regular photocopy paper. Oops, a bit of ink. Never mind, it's all good. Just adds to the overall effect. And now I'm just going to take a black pen, because I cut all the antennae off, just because they're, you know, really fiddly and they'd probably break anyway. And I'm just going to go in and draw the antenna in, just like that. So there we go. There's the outside of our tag. Now we do have to make it a tag shape, of course. So let's go in and do that. Re-ink those. And now I'm going to leave the inside white, and I'm just going to ink the edges and down the center fold. But if you don't like the white, then you deal with the white however you like. That's if whatever you're using is white. It might not be. It might have something on, a design or a text or something that you need to cover to give writing space. So just whatever you happen to be working with. So there we go. So we've got writing space inside, we've got writing space on the back, and we've got lots of sponge crumbs everywhere. And then we've got this cool dude. Now you could put a topper on this. I'm choosing not to. When I do put it in a journal, I could add a topper if I wanted, but I think I like it just as is. This little fold out tag to pop in a pocket. So there we go. There is today's Trash Craft Tuesday. So we've used a calendar page, we've used the inside of an old envelope, and some scraps of bits and pieces, and then decorated it up. So there we go, guys. Hope that's given you an idea of something that you might be able to do with your calendar pages. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you didn't mind how sort of amateurish this video felt. At least I felt it was amateurish. I'll get back into the swing of things over time. Probably not really until I'm like fully mobile with my foot able to be down and all that jazz. Until then, I'm just going to keep on doing what I can, and I love you all for joining me. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch you again in the next video. Bye.